Okay, welcome in, folks. This is our lecture for Design 350. It's Thursday, September 16th, and we are on a Google Meet. And I have started the recording. So this is being recorded. So let's take a look and see for today. I want to go over there's a new thing that I added in. Okay, but let's just make sure that you all know what needs to be done. Synthesis of your concepts into a main idea. Um, that's about your work with fair housing and redlining and foster youth and what happens when they time out. Those can all be connected if you so desire, and I'm asking you to connect them in some fashion that makes sense to you from your readings. That's called synthesis of concepts. And it will help us as we move forward in our design projects later on. You always have to have an idea of how and why and where you're going to do something before you get going on your project. So this is what we're working on here. We're going to synthesize these. You should be able to complete your position readings. So those of you who are coming to the lab campus will do it using the survey equipment. Those of you who are on the simulators will use the simulators, and you'll be placing rods as directed and getting the position readings from it. And then draw properties based on the parcel map data. I demonstrated that on Tuesday, and there is a video about it. So that's what's coming up. We're still working with AutoCAD. AutoCAD really is the backbone tool for this, and it doesn't hurt to be working there for another couple of weeks before we try to start looking at some Revit. So your recordings, we do have a playlist. Let's see if my playlist is up. I don't think it is. Let's see. Here's the full playlist. So there's how to do the synthesis. There was a very brief one from the lab yesterday, and lecture, and another one in a lab. And here's the one that I just did for you, survey basics, your first survey data, and that's how to do the collaboration exercise. Basically, take the readings that your colleagues have provided to you and lay it out in AutoCAD. So here's the video synthesis, same reading list. You should be reading and reading and reading and reading over and over and over again. Now, under samples and work plates and stuff, I have now given you an AutoCAD template file because I've gotten feedback that some of you really don't have one. You haven't developed one of your own over the time that you've been in the classes. And so that's okay. I've got one for you. It's adequate. It does have probably all the layers in it that you need and things like that. And remember, if you have that open and then you're in your drawing that you need something, you type DC. So if you're not familiar with how to work with a template file, let me know, and I will make a video on how to use it. That'll be kind of a good thing. One way to use it. Here's your survey notes template. That's your blank one. You'll put your data over here that you got from your colleagues, and then you'll read that data and put your answers here. And as I've said, we're ignoring elevation. We will start working with elevation next week. Okay. And so that's what you're just going to put those points in. There's only 3 points, but for each survey, but you're going to do each one of the lines that you get. So you'll get, one from Nick, one from Leah, maybe one from JR, and then on Friday if they do another one. So you might have 4 or 5 of these to do. And so you'll do this whole thing for each one. Okay, you can do them in the same AutoCAD drawing, but you need each record to show how you do it. Okay, so there we go. So that's there for you. Here's some sample survey data from Nick, and I've actually plotted this. This is correct within 1/16th of an inch, actually a 32nd of an inch, because it's plus or minus, and I just did it all to one side. So pretty darn good. He got some good readings and everything's cool. And so, here's the azimuth readings, and you should know how to read those by now, so you can get those. And here is the distance reading. So it's the tape measure from the theodolite to the rod. And some of them aren't super easy to get, but you can kind of estimate and get kind of close with it. Okay, so you've got these, you've got at least these, and maybe we'll get some from Leah and another set from Nick and maybe some from JR. It's kind of cool. And here's the video that shows you how to do it. Okay, so those are there. And what you see is I have added in a collaborative exercise. Now this, I don't even know if this goes into the template. I don't think I set the template up to have that in it. So let's see if I did. There's this, there's those, and nope. So you're just gonna need to put the readings, but you should make that drawing. Okay, so here's reading 1, reading 2, reading 3. You could take that as right here, reading 1, reading 2, reading 3. So you can put those pieces of information in there and give the answer. Okay, Drop Bear Falls. Please do one more round of Drop Bear Falls. You should have 3 sets of data. If you haven't done any of them yet, do 3 of them this weekend. We are going to pool that data and make some land planning decisions based on that data. Okay, and then here's the sites to draw. There we go. And I think that shows you everything that's due. So now I want to show you how to actually do that drawing. Okay, so here's my survey data. I put it into, I think I put it into one that has thinking. Yep, there it is. So here's my data. And so I just read this one and read this one. And let's talk about that a little bit. How do I read this tape measure? First of all, you should know that this is decimal feet. So this would be 52.1, 52.2, 52.3. So it's 52. I'm not quite to the 1 yet, so it's 52.0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I see that as what lines up. So it's 52.08. So again, I read the red number. That's my feet, 52. And then I look, this would be 0.0, 0.1, 0.2. It's not up to the 0.1 yet. So it's 52.0, and then read the marks. And I lined up the 0.08. So it's 52.08. Now I have to get in here and read it. I can see my double bracket is on 117. The double bracket is around 30. So 117, 30 plus however many minutes it says up here. 117 degrees, 30 plus 2, 32 minutes. And this happens to be on the 0 seconds. 117 minutes, 117 degrees, 32 minutes, 0 seconds. Okay. And so, yeah, I know I'm giving you the answer here. You still have to do it. You have to draw it. But we'll also have some more that I won't demonstrate, and you got to get those answers in. But these are the 3 data points. Distance, bearing, distance, bearing, distance, bearing. And remember, I've told you that our theodolites measure degrees clockwise. Wherever you happen to have your 0 degrees set up, this is measured clockwise from there. Okay, so now when we get into AutoCAD, here it is. It's actually really well done. And so I'm going to pretend that I've done that one, and I'm just going to move them out of the way. And there's lots to doing multiple surveys and stuff that we'll do later on. I'm just going to get it out of the way right now. So here we go. Thinking here. I'm okay. So how do I draw this? Well, the first thing to remember is I have to have my units right. So I type units, and I'm decimal feet because that's what my tape measure measures, decimal feet. And I usually put the precision up pretty high, higher than what I want. Okay, it doesn't matter. I can do my dim style later. That's how I'm going to talk in decimal feet. And when I do that, remember, I don't need the foot sign or anything. I just type in my number and AutoCAD knows it's decimal feet. And then these are in degrees, minutes, seconds. So I'm going to do degrees, minutes, seconds. And I have all 3 of them showing up, so I need to do that. And I need to make sure I'm clockwise. So there we go. I'm set. Okay, now up here it says that my theodolite was set at 0, 0, 0 for the project. Okay, and that's good. That's cool. Every time you move the theodolite, you have to know where it is. And right now, I'm just telling our surveyors, pretend that's the 0, 0, 0 mark. We'll work about how to really peg where it is later on, but that's the more advanced stuff. So right now, we're just going to say where the theodolite was sitting is 0, 0, 0. My references here are all drawn from 0, 0, 0. And remember, we're not doing elevation, so it's really 0, 0. From 0, 0 to 52.08 at an angle 117.32, 0. Or from 0, 0 to 41.82 at an angle of 196.32, so on and so forth. I'm going to show you my surefire. It always works. I do not like dynamic inputs for these angle things. I'm not used to it. I don't do it well. If you do it well, that's okay. Go ahead. I'm going to show you my tried and true, been doing it for years way. So dynamic input mode is off. Okay. And I know I'm going from 0, 0, 0, but I'm going to pretend I'm going to do it the same way so that even if this was not 0, 0, 0, it wouldn't matter. My way is going to come out correct. Okay, so let's kind of hang loose with that for a bit. All right, so I'm going to draw a line from 0, 0. So it says down here, specify my first point. 0, 0, enter. And then where do I want to go to? I want to go somewhere. I want to go from wherever I'm at. Length 52.08. That was my first one. With the angle sign at an angle 117. And I do need to put in the D. 32. And I do need to put in the minutes. And I don't need the seconds, but I always do it 0 seconds so that I get used to doing it the same way. So it's from where I'm at with the at symbol. That's shift. It's above the 2. Okay. Okay. At 52.08 at an angle 117D 32 minutes 0 seconds. I can put this anywhere, and when I hit enter, it goes and draws that line. And I'm going to just zoom out so I can see everything. That's cool. My next one is the same way, but I have a different distance and angle. So I'll take my line. I can type in 00 again. Enter. From where I'm at, shift above the 2, that's the at symbol. My distance, 41.85 at an angle. The angle is above the comma, right next to the M. At an angle, 196. D for degrees, 32 minutes, and 0 seconds. You will almost never get something like that, 2 readings in a row with the same minutes and seconds, but it did happen that way this time. Enter. Enter again finishes that one. So draw another line. I'm going to type line command 0, 0. From where I'm at, 63.86 at an angle 220D 52 minutes. Minutes is the apostrophe. 55 seconds, that's the quotation marks. Enter. Now, it just so happened that I set these rods up right along a wall, and it's a pretty straight wall. So those 3 points should end up in a straight line. Now, I don't know where north is. I don't know where south is. I just know that those 3 points should be in a straight line. So if I draw a line between the 2 endpoints, whoo, not bad. It looked like a pretty straight line. That's good stuff. Click. That's my line. Okay. And if I look at its properties, wherever it happens to be placed, this is true. It's 91.25 feet. What's a quarter of a foot? 3 inches. And its angle with respect to where I was lined up is 74 degrees. But this length should always match up for everybody. Okay? We'll talk about how we can take multiples of these and put them together. But then if you're ready to do somebody else's, you can just copy this and move it out of the side and have them all sitting there. The one thing that should be common between all of them is this length, at least the ones that were measured yesterday. I'm going to put them up in a different place next time. The thing I want to point out is Nick did a pretty good job. If I zoom in here, wow, that's how far he's off. Okay, and so if I use the 2, it's off by a total of this, but if I want to say it's plus or minus, I could move this. Watch this. Move this so that this point is on the midpoint between here. Oh, I didn't do that one right. Move this object from this point midway between 2 points, here and here. So now that's off a little bit. This is off a little bit. And this is off a little bit. This is called rectifying. If I do the dist command, 0.0347. 032 is 1/32 of an inch. So he's off by a 32nd of an inch there. See what this one is. DIST 0.033, a 32nd of an inch. This is the first time he's ever did one of these things, you guys. This is amazing. 0.347, a 32nd of an inch. Okay, so using our sort of concept that we know that wall is straight. How do we know? We've had really good surveyors go and survey it for us, and we just happen to know that's a good straight wall. And so it's either straight within a 32nd of an inch over 90 feet. Let's see what percentage that is. 0.032 divided by, oh my gosh. Well, first I have to know what 90 times 12 is. Oh my gosh. 5 zeros, then a 2. That is such a small percentage. And it's not 1/32 of an inch. It's actually, I should take that back. It's 1/32 of a foot. That's what I'm measuring. So it's 0.032 divided by 90. Okay, so that's 0.00035. Less than 1/10 of 1%. Straight. Dang, that's really good. Okay, so that's how you're going to do it. You need to practice this layout capability. You don't have to do all this stuff where I'm measuring, but you should know that it is a straight line. So when you've done your work, it should line up in a straight line. Okay, and then we'll see how the other data also comes out. And I'll tell you, it's real easy to make mistakes out there. I don't think I almost never get a straight line on the first one. So when the other people put their stuff in there, just be prepared. It may not be a straight line. There could be some things off. Something gets bumped. It gets jiggled. You move something on the theodolite that resets your 0. It's really easy to get it moved around. This is what I'd like you to do, and I will continue to put the data in the discussion board. Okay, so here's the survey data for week 4. This is your collaborative thing to do. If you're a surveyor, post the image of your 3 data points. You can see that's what I took, the ones that Nick did, and put them there. Make a quick table to record each one, wherever it was. There it was, right there. Use AutoCAD to draw from the origin 0, 0 to each point. Try to draw a somewhat straight line through. Oh, and then it says copy the table into my drawing. So I guess I need to take a snip of that. Clipboard. Didn't like that. Let's try that again. Edit. Copy. I think I'm in the right one here. There it goes. So you could just put that data in there. Okay, so I'm not asking you to do property lines or this or that or the other thing. Just have this data in there. Okay. If some of you are good into graphing, you could graph these points, right? You could graph these 2 points if you knew how to do polar graphing. Essentially what we just did. Okay, so there we go. That is what's up for today's lecture. See if there's anything else I want to go over with what we've got here. I think maybe I'll show you how to use that AutoCAD template since I've got the opportunity. So I've got that template and I'm pretty sure I've downloaded it. So let me just go to AutoCAD and I'm going to open the template. Maybe I haven't downloaded it. No. So let me come over to here. I don't know why I don't have that in there. Oh, that's why. What shows up in there? Oh, I know what I was doing. Look, I make this mistake all the time. I want to open up a template file. So I have to come down to the file types and look for a drawing template. And then I have to go find it again. There it is right there. And I also put it right there. So I'm going to open that up and it's just sort of sitting here for me. And I'll ignore all the stuff. Just sitting there for me in case I want to use something from it. Now, how might I do that? If I'm over here and I'm just doing stuff and I go, I want new layers. I want new dim styles. I want new line types. I want new layouts. How do I get those things? Well, I type, when I'm in my drawing, I type DC. Okay. AutoCAD Design Center. And I'll just park it over on the left. And then I look at my open drawings. And from my open drawings, I can just drag anything I want from my design center into here. So let's look at some layouts. I've got a bunch of mechanical layouts, but here's a B-size sketch that maybe I can use. Let me just do that. I'm going to hold my left mouse down and drag it into my drawing area, and I'm going to let go. And I'm frozen up. That's not good. Why did it freeze up right there? There it goes. Cool. And now I've got it down here. That's what it looks like. I was able to just pull that right in. Now, if I try to do it again, it won't do it. I have to change the name of this. So I'm going to say, I'm going to give it a new name, rename. This is First Survey Nick Wright. And then I can start doing my work. So I get all that, and that brought with it some new layers. What if I need a different layer? What if I wanted that to be on, something else? Maybe I'm just using this as construction. Maybe I want it to be on the construction. So I held my mouse down, pulled it in, and now construction is in there. Let's go back, and you've done this before. Maybe those go on the construction layer. Okay, so now let's see. Maybe I want to just see that right now. And maybe I don't think I've got one called image. So I can just reuse an existing one or make one. And I'll go ahead and put this on my image layer. There. Now I can remember, if I've got this, if I put it in there one way, let's take a look at the properties on it. It does let me do a transparency. I'll do a 50% on it. There, that looks good. So now let's come back over here and remember that I have a def points. Yes, my layout, and put a rectangular one in here. It over. And set your scale. 1 inch equals 20 isn't bad. I don't think 1 equals 10 will fit. It does, but not, it just barely. There we go. And then you could type on here, this was my first survey. These lines are this, these lines are that, blah, blah, blah. There we go. So that's what you might want to be able to do. And that's the use of a template. Okay, now some people do it a little different. When they start a new drawing, they'll start from a template and all of that will already be in there. Okay, so some people use a template to start from new and then have everything. I tend to use the design center for that. Okay, well, there we go. That is the information from our lecture for Design 350. If you've got any questions, well, let me just make sure that I've done everything that I need to do. Gone over how to do the synthesis. Over this, that. I think we've done everything. Oh, one other thing. Let me go ahead and do, let me talk about this. Okay, and ways that you can do it where you can make a video of yourself doing this. And this is kind of cool. So I'm going to do first I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. So that I've got that available to see. And I'm going to do a reply. And there's a cool thing if I want to. Let me go ahead and make it small. If I find this little plug here, I can go to something called Canvas Studio. And I can make a screen recording that will just plug right into here. Screen capture. And I've got it set up. It already knows to use my microphone. So that can be an issue sometimes. You see how this comes up? You can use your screen, a webcam, both. You can narrate, audio. So I can start my recording. And I can start talking about what I'm supposed to be doing here. I'm going to duplicate that and see if I can get down here. So now I can start talking about this. Okay, so let's talk about what to do right here. It says, list the skills that you've learned, have learned, or demonstrated. So here's one skill. I've learned how to, and I have demonstrated that I can trace a map from Google into AutoCAD, and I can present it on a layout. And I'm pretty proficient at doing that. Okay, I've also been able to show that I can set up a tripod, mount a theodolite, and level it. And I'm independent, but I'm a little bit slow with that. I've also demonstrated that I can read the azimuth angle and set the elevation of my site to be 0 and to measure a distance. So I can do distance and bearing measurements, and I'm able to do a real survey. I would need some direction. And I've also learned how to set up AutoCAD to draw a civil survey drawing using the units of decimal feet and degrees, minutes, and seconds on a clockwise rotation. And I can do that independently. I'm pretty proficient at doing that, and I can read the survey record to be able to do that. I'm pretty proficient at that if there is one survey setup. If there's more than one, I would need significant step-by-step directions. So there we go. I'm going to come back. I just clicked my stop, and it's thinking for a little bit. So do you see how I was able to really look at that and answer that question directly? Okay. Another way that you could do it would be to pull up this and go through it. I am able to take, whatever you showed here, right? What was this? I have the skill of reading a parcel map and reading the parcel distances and bearings and drawing it. And you could point at it. And then you could go down to this one. And I am able to synthesize a large amount of reading into a clear set of concepts that I can work with. And I can set up the equipment. I can adjust the azimuth. I can. So that's another way of doing it, where you start practicing showing what you can do as part of the class. But now what you'll see, well, this is still cranking away and thinking, but you'll be able to, if you want to, eventually select one and put it right into your reply. So that's how to use Canvas Studio. I'm going to go ahead and close it because I don't really want to do one, but that's one way to do it. And some of you already have been doing that. as you go. Really pay attention to this and go, okay, that's for in this class. You're going to eventually want to put this class in your resume. And so, okay, Design 350. What skills did you get from it? I learned two. And this skill, I'm proficient. This skill, I'm able to do it under direction. This skill, I'm able to train others. This skill, I am in training. I need, or something like that. Okay? So that's just a little bit more. I see JR's already got his in there. That's cool. So there we go. Any questions before we move on? That's really it for today. I'll be posting the recording soon. Cool. Yeah.
I'll need help with the surveying thing for the I think it's the third discussion.
Yes. With this one, the survey data.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I actually just went all through that, so I'm going to turn off. I'm going to turn off the recording.